All right, it's time for an antique eBay unboxing. If you like my videos where I just show you my everyday life of an agoraphobia, what is that? It's somebody that has panic attacks when they leave the house. I have high anxiety levels, PTSD, and I live my life. I have a inner world, and I do everything to try to distract myself from the anxiety by making videos. So if you like my videos, or you're a different human being, like a different type of person, a person that is not like everybody else, follow me over on YouTube. By the way, if you like antiques, go on my main YouTube page, which you'll see on the top of my profile if you're on TikTok right now. You'll see my link. If it doesn't work, just copy and paste it in your browser. And if you want to see antique videos, go into my page on YouTube, go to the search, type in the word antiques or antique, and you'll see thousands of videos that I started at 12 years ago. All right, let's get to this unboxing. I'll explain everything. All right, egads. What do we got over here? All right, sorry for my New York accent. All right, so this was a chance I took. 9 times out of 10, these chances are not a good chance. Somebody had this for $125 on eBay or Feebay. I used to sell there. And I said, hey, would you take 60? And they said, all right. And so this is like the drum roll. All right, either it's German silver or it's silver, and I'm hoping it's silver. So I don't know. Do you want to find out? All right, let's find out. Now, if it's silver over German silver, how will that benefit me? Well, German silver is not real silver. It's an alloy of copper and base metals. We want this to be silver because the value goes up. And then what I paid for this will probably be the value. But if it's silver, I just hit the jackpot. All right, how do you open this? There we go. What is this? This is an antique purse, or what's known as a nécessaire, minorière. I'm not good at French. Compact purse. And so far, I'm liking what I see, and I'm not going to show you myself in the mirror. I'm going to avoid that. And so this is a coin section. So that's all you'd need back then. This spot, you would put something called calling cards in, which was like a lady's business cards, all the way going back to like the Victorian era, all the way to the early 20th century. A lady would have her name and her address. If they had phones at the time, it would have her phone number. In the early 20th century, people had phones. Then this area would be the mirror part. And by the way, the seller did not disclose that there's something wrong with the mirror. I did not see this until just now. It's a little bit of a crack. But yeah, that's not really a problem because most of these mirrors actually are broken out of these things. All right. And then you open this compartment up. And then, oh, what's cool is it has a memo notepad. They would be able to write on this surface. I don't know what it's made out of. And, or it could be a picture frame. So this could come out and you could slide a picture in there. Very interesting. But is it silver? We're going to look for the telltale signs that it's silver. And they would put teeny tiny marks on this if it was really silver. Let me just go ahead and look around for marks. I do see something here. And that says wait. Let's zoom in tighter. And my camera does not have a good macro function. So I'm gonna try to zoom out. And it looks like it says, let's try to get in there tighter. Waco? No, it's not Waco, Texas. W something and company. All right, we'll find out more info about that later, but let's look for markings. Oh, guess what? We're in the money. Holy shit, we're in the money. Excuse my French. Sterling, baby. Okay, this thing is sterling. Guess what? My little purchase just skyrocketed the value. By how much? We'll find out in this video. Stay tuned. But first, we're going to do a restoration. That's right. We're going to clean this thing because it looks like shiz. It looks horrendous. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to take this blackness off of it. Even the strap is black. And we're going to get out our Simichrome, our toothbrush, our polishing rags. Let's get going, and we'll do it in fast motion. Then we'll discuss the purse, the comparables, the prices, and more about the history of these purses and the company that made it. All right, so I just wanted to show you half of it done with Simichrome. Well, this side was not done. And then this is the side that Simichrome is really getting this terrible, we'll try to focus, terrible tarnish off. And this is it without Simichrome, and this is it with Simichrome. This is really amazing. All right, I'm going to continue. Again, I'm so pleasantly surprised with the transformation. This is with Simichrome, this half going up this way, and this is without Simichrome, this half going up that way. Just wanted to show you the difference that Simichrome makes in antiques. Any kind of metal, doesn't have to be silver. One side done already. By the way, this time elapsement is a long time. I'm spending a lot of time on this. All right, look at that. Okay, now look at the back. Do you see how Simichrome saves antiques? All right, so we're getting underway on the back. Here's one side with the Simichrome and the other side without the Simichrome. Big difference. All right, we're still not done. I'm going to still do this whole thing several times over. Oh, we're not done. We're not done yet, boys and girls. I still have to actually wash this down with water and buff it. But now we're going to go inside and clean the interior. Now, since we have that notepad in there, we can't wet the interior. I was going to wash this out with the hose in the sink, but we can't get that wet. So we're going to have to, think outside the box. All right, so we got the inside of this purse nice and cleaned and buffed. The buffing side is always the suede side. And then we're going to take it outside. I'm going to tell you more about these purses. And, now I'm going to buff the outside. But before I do that, I forgot, we got this filthy, dirty handle. Oh, God. I got to get the toothbrush for this one. All right, so as you can see, I really lucked out. 9 out of 10 times it'll be German silver. I had a hunch this might be sterling, and I took a chance at $60. What is it worth? I'll actually show you comparables popping up in a few moments. I'll show you screenshots, but this is really beautiful. Now, when were these made? These were actually before they became compacts, where they had little spots for powder and rouge in it and lipstick. These were actually a lady's entertainment center. It was like her cell phone back then, and she would write little notes in there. She would also keep her coins in there, which coins would, if you had like a few coins, you can buy your groceries with it because things were much cheaper back then. So this is all basically a lady needed. Her little steno notepad, her calling card section. So these were brought at dances, brought to dances. Ladies would go to dances with these. And what they would generally do is they would bring these with them. And when a man asked them to dance, they would give their calling card. And so the man would come to call upon her on another day, asking her for another date. Perhaps, maybe, hopefully. If a lady went visiting, she would actually, if she went to visit friends, she would leave her calling card. It's quite cool. This was like the cell phone of the early 20th century. Now, these were popular sometime in the Victorian era. And I do find a lot of calling card cases made out of sterling silver and gold and mother of pearl and some other really cool materials. But this one is more of an early 20th century, pre-World War I. I'm going to guess this was made between 1908, 1907, and maybe 1913-ish, right around there. Now, they weren't made around 1917 to about 1918 because we needed the precious sterling silver and metals for the war efforts of World War I. Then they came back again in style right after World War I, and those ones would have contained the rouge pots and the makeup spots. So we know that this one is early. So I hope you enjoyed learning a lesson about these old purses. These, again, were very necessary for a lady to carry around. We'll open it up one more time, and we'll see what's inside. So let's go ahead and check it out. Now, the mirror has a little bit of a crack. No big deal. 9 times out of 10, the mirrors are missing from these purses. And I really, really scored big because I weighed it, and it's 95 grams of silver. I don't know what that value is. Somewhere I'm going to guess about $110, $120 worth of silver value. I could be on the high end. It could be 90. But I'm going to say about $90 to $125 worth of silver value. Now, I paid only $60 for it, and I think I did really good. All right, so I'm going to show you the other comparables and what these sell for. Now, the later ones of the 20s would have little spots for a rouge pot and face powder. Sometimes they would even have little puffs in them, but this one is an earlier one. We have initials, and it's G-O-H. G-O-H. I'm thinking the name was probably Gertrude O'Hara. I always like to give them names. So this was Gertrude O'Hara's purse. And let's go ahead and take a look at the comparables right now. And when we look at the comparables, this is subjective. Price is always subjective. Now, the person was selling this for $125 on eBay, and I was really lucky to get him down to $60. He did not know if it was silver or not. It was hidden by the tarnish. I took a chance and scored. For me, this is a big score. All right, let's look at some comparables that you'll find when you go shopping on the internet, thrift stores, or in antique shops. All right, so those were the comparables. As you can see, I really hit sort of a little bit of a mini jackpot here. Really great deal for 60 bucks. If you haven't already subscribed, subscribe to me on YouTube. I have over 2,480 videos. If you're on TikTok right now seeing this, it's Futures Past, Future apostrophe S space past, Past, or Futures Past 1, without the apostrophe, one word. And I'll see you guys all there. Go ahead and subscribe to me over there if you're on TikTok, because I have way more content. If you want to see antiques, go into my main page on YouTube, go to the search, and type in antique or antiques or purses or compacts if you're into compacts, antique dolls, antique everything. Pretty much there's a lot of antiques. So I'll see you guys all there and here. Thanks for watching.